Okay, let's unpack this. If you're a business owner right now, you're probably feeling it. The economic climate is just, well, uncertain.
Yeah, volatility isn't just a possibility. It feels more like the baseline these days.
Exactly. And you're looking for ways to do more than just, ride it out. You want to actually thrive through these choppy waters.
Absolutely. And relying purely on traditional cost cutting feels a bit like trying to stop a leak with a paper towel sometimes.
Right.
The challenges are just more complex now, and the solutions need to be smarter, too.
Which is perfect timing, because today we are diving deep into a report called Recession Proofing Your SME, how AI and automation help businesses thrive during economic uncertainty.
It's really packed with strategic insights.
Our mission here, really, is to cut through the noise of this report, pull out the absolute essential knowledge for you.
Yeah, how are artificial intelligence and automation becoming like powerful allies for businesses in this exact environment?
And the report makes it really clear it's not just about trimming expenses here and there.
No, it's about strategic transformation, a fundamental shift.
Okay, so let's jump right into what the source lays out first.
So one of the most immediate benefits the report zeroes in on is using AI to really slash costs and sharpen how your business runs day to day.
Yeah, and it highlights financial operations specifically. It's saying AI isn't just, tweaking things around the edges.
Right.
It's fundamentally changing how decisions are made, making them faster, more accurate.
Totally data-driven. And that leads directly to, well, enhanced accuracy, speed, security, and yes, significantly reduced costs. That's the bottom line there.
What's fascinating, I think, is how widespread this is within finance. The report points to AI optimizing things like portfolio management through some pretty sophisticated data analysis.
They're strengthening risk assessment and fraud detection using machine learning. So basically, computer programs that learn from data to spot patterns humans might just miss.
And I was really struck by the predictive analytics piece. The source talks about using this to anticipate market trends and forecast customer behavior. That's like getting a head start, right?
Yeah.
Being proactive instead of just reacting all the time.
Exactly. And the report gives that really compelling example, JP Morgan Chase's Koine platform.
Oh, yeah.
Reviewing legal documents in seconds versus, what was it, thousands of hours manually?
Incredible.
That one example alone just shows the sheer scale of potential cost reduction and efficiency gains AI enables. It's huge.
And that efficiency isn't limited to just one department, is it? The source makes it clear AI integrates across different functions.
Definitely. From software development and quality assurance through to risk assessment, financial analysis, core operations, customer service, even supply chain management.
And it notes a strategic shift in supply chain, too, right? It mentioned AI isn't just optimizing for cost there anymore.
That's a key point. It's about building resilience alongside efficiency now, preparing for disruption.
Okay, resilience and efficiency. Got it. So taking a closer look at, say, payment operations, what is the report detail there?
Well, it talks about how AI automates those repetitive tasks like data entry and transaction monitoring.
The time savers.
Exactly. Think about the time saved and, maybe more importantly, the human error reduced right there. It also enhances things like dispute resolution and improves compliance and risk management through continuous monitoring.
How does that work, the continuous monitoring?
It's basically AI systems watching transactions in real time, flagging anomalies or suspicious patterns that might indicate fraud or compliance issues way faster than a human could.
Okay, so looking more broadly then at operational cost reduction for your business listening in, the sources paint a pretty clear picture.
Yeah, process automation handles repetitive tasks, which cuts labor costs and boosts accuracy. That's a big one.
And predictive maintenance.
Yeah.
Forecasting equipment failures before they happen.
Right. Saving you from costly downtime, those unexpected repairs that always seem to happen at the worst time.
Tell me about it.
And then there's resource optimization. AI analyzes usage patterns, energy, inventory, even staff scheduling, making sure you're using everything smarter, not just harder.
So the strategic nugget here for your operations is?
It's that AI directly impacts your bottom line. It drives down labor costs, improves efficiency across the board, enables smarter, data-driven decisions, minimizes errors, and optimizes how you use every single resource you have.
Foundational, really.
Absolutely foundational.
Okay, so we've looked at sharpening things up today with AI, making current operations leaner, smarter. But in this kind of uncertain climate, you also need to be thinking about what's coming tomorrow. How does the report say AI gives you that critical foresight?
This is where the report poses a really big, provocative question, actually.
Which is,
Could AI predict the next financial crisis?
wow, okay, that's a huge idea. What does the source actually say about AI's capability there? Is that realistic?
Well, what's fascinating is its ability to process absolutely vast data sets, far more than any human team could ever hope to analyze, and identify these incredibly subtle patterns and correlations. Connections between economic indicators, market signals, even like public sentiment data,
Yeah.
stuff humans might totally miss.
So it's pattern recognition on a massive scale.
Exactly. The report presents this as a significant advancement in how we can approach economic risk management.
So predictive analytics,
Oh.
that's the term, right? Using historical data and algorithms to forecast future outcomes. That really comes into play here.
Precisely. The sources describe AI processing real-time data, identifying those complex relationships between indicators we mentioned, and crucially, generating early warning signals,
Giving you a heads up.
giving you data-driven insights that provide that heads up, yeah.
So if we connect this back to the bigger picture for your business,
Yeah.
how does this help?
Well, this capability enables much more accurate risk assessment for you. Instead of reacting after a market shift hits your bottom line,
Which is usually too late.
often, yeah, you might get earlier warnings about potential downturns impacting your specific industry, or your supply chain, or even your customers' spending habits.
And that has direct practical implications, I imagine.
Huge ones. Better anticipation and preparation for economic slowdowns. Developing improved risk management strategies that are actually tailored to the data, not just gut feeling.
And making more informed strategic decisions based on that foresight, not just flying blind.
This truly represents a paradigm shift that the report highlights. It's about moving from being purely reactive, just managing crises as they hit,
Which is exhausting.
to a much more proactive position, where you might actually be able to anticipate and mitigate risks before they fully materialize. It's a game changer, potentially.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly powerful, right? Cutting costs, improving efficiency, even seeing the future, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
But the practical question lingering for any business owner, especially right now, is always, what does this actually cost? And what's the real return on investment?
Crucial question.
Making that business case for AI, especially when finances might be tight, is absolutely vital.
Absolutely. And the report does provide some compelling examples of potential ROI. It mentions financial services companies achieving up to, I think it was, a 22% reduction in operational costs by implementing AI.
22%. That's significant.
It is. Now, that's obviously a large scale, maybe not directly comparable to every small business, but it demonstrates the potential for serious savings.
And that potential can absolutely translate to your business, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the specific AI application you choose.
Exactly. And the source breaks down costs based on the scope of the AI solution, which kind of gives you some perspective.
Okay, like what?
For smaller scale solutions, maybe a basic chatbot for customer service or a simple rule-based automation system, the cost might range from, say, $10,000 to $50,000.
Manageable for some.
Then moving up, mid-range projects like implementing predictive analytics for sales forecasting or customer churn, you could be looking at $100,000 to $500,000.
Okay, bigger jump.
Yeah. And large-scale enterprise transformations are obviously much more, but these tiers give you a sense of the range involved.
Crucially, though, the report specifically talks about costs for small businesses. What did it say there?
It acknowledges that upfront investment can vary quite a bit, potentially ranging from $5,000 to $30,000 or more, depending on the complexity of the tool and how much integration is required with your existing systems.
But the key takeaway here seems to be viewing it not just as an expense line item.
No, absolutely not. It's framing it as a strategic investment in your business's future capability, its resilience, its efficiency.
And are there specific ROI examples for smaller businesses mentioned?
Yes, there are. Customer service chatbots, for instance. The report suggests they can potentially reduce associated labor costs by 30 to 50%.
Wow, 30 to 50%.
And the return on that investment often appears relatively quickly, often within 6 to 18 months.
Those are numbers that can make a real tangible difference to cash flow for a smaller company.
Definitely. And the report also discusses smart ways to manage these costs strategically. It's not just about writing a big check. Well, developing predefined budgets for the different components, the software itself, Any necessary hardware upgrades, maybe staff training, and definitely ongoing maintenance.
Planning it out.
Planning it out, and crucially, considering a phased implementation approach.
Start small.
Exactly. Start with smaller projects, maybe ones with a clearer, quicker ROI, to demonstrate the value before committing to larger, more complex ones. It allows you to spread the costs over time, too.
That makes a lot of sense.
And what's really fascinating here is the long-term financial impact the report emphasizes. It goes beyond the immediate savings from efficiency gains.
How so?
While AI enables better, consistently data-driven decisions and continuous optimization across your business, that leads to sustained growth, enhanced profitability, and a stronger competitive position over the long haul.
So it's an investment designed to keep paying dividends.
That's the idea. It's
Right.
not just a one-off cost saving.
The source also briefly touched on the different ways you might actually encounter these costs, right? The pricing models.
Yeah, it mentioned things like, getting a custom-built solution, which can range hugely, like $6K up to $300 or even more.
Or hiring consultants.
Right, bringing in experts to help you figure it out and implement it, which could be, say, $200 to $350 plus per hour.
Or off-the-shelf software.
Exactly. Using third-party software, which the report said could be up to maybe $40 a year, but also noted that sometimes there are free or lower-cost basic tiers available, especially for simpler tools.
It's lots of different ways to approach it depending on your needs and budget.
Which raises an important point the report makes. Successful AI implementation isn't just about buying the flashiest tech.
Right.
It needs to be really closely aligned with your specific business goals to make sure you actually achieve measurable and substantial returns. It has to solve a real problem for you.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about one of your most valuable assets, maybe the most valuable, your customers.
Crucial.
When times are tough, keeping the customers you already have is absolutely vital. How does the report say AI helps you do that?
This is a huge strategic point because, as the report highlights, retaining your existing customers is significantly more cost-effective than constantly chasing new ones. Acquisition is expensive.
We all know that feeling.
Yeah. And get this, the source notes that in the current climate, twice as many companies are prioritizing investments in retention strategies over acquisition strategies.
Wow, twice as many. That really tells you where businesses are seeing the most leverage right now.
It really does. It shows a clear focus shift.
So AI is clearly playing a big role here. What specific strategies does the report detail for using AI in customer retention?
The kind of strategic nugget here is AI helps you keep customers by truly understanding them, often understanding them better or at least earlier than you could manually.
Understanding them how?
Well, it uses predictive analytics, there's that term again, to identify customers who are at risk of leaving. Customers who might churn, as they say.
Before they actually leave.
That's the goal. Identify them before they hit the cancel button or just stop buying.
Okay, how does that predictive modeling work for churn? What's it looking at?
The report explains it analyzes a ton of data points, things like customer demographics, their past purchase behavior, engagement patterns, maybe seasonal trends that affect them,
Okay.
even broader economic indicators relevant to that customer segment, and of course, loyalty program metrics. It crunches all this stuff together
To do what?
to forecast their likely future behavior. And it can even simulate potential churn scenarios, showing you which customer segments might be most vulnerable under certain conditions.
That kind of insight is absolute gold for a business owner, knowing who might be about to walk away.
It really is. And what else does AI do for retention, according to the report?
Well, building on that understanding, it enables hyper-personalized engagement strategies,
Meaning?
meaning using that analysis of their behavior to tailor offers, messages, and support interactions specifically to individual customers or very small groups, making them feel understood, not just like another number.
That makes sense.
The report also points to automated systems for proactive customer support.
Like chatbots.
Yeah, think AI-powered chatbots resolving simple issues instantly, 24/7. Or maybe back-end systems that flagged potential problems like a failed delivery or a billing error before the customer even complains, reaching out proactively.
Okay, nipping problems in the bud.
Exactly. And finally, real-time analysis of customer feedback and sentiment. So scouring reviews, social media, support tickets to gauge how customers are feeling overall, and quickly address any negative trends or widespread issues.
This sounds incredibly powerful for building loyalty, especially when every single customer interaction really counts.
It is, but the report is also realistic here. This raises an important point. Implementing AI for retention isn't always straightforward. It's not without its hurdles.
Okay, what kind of challenges does it mention?
The source specifically flags things like ensuring you have high-quality data to feed the AI. Garbage in, garbage out, right?
Always the case with data.
Navigating privacy concerns, which are huge. Making sure you're using customer data ethically and transparently.
Very important.
The need for staff training, so your team knows how to work with these AI tools effectively. They're collaborators, not replacements often.
Right.
And critically, accurately measuring the return on investment from these retention efforts. It can sometimes be hard to directly attribute saved churn to a specific AI initiative.
So success, it sounds like, needs a really strategic approach.
That's what the report emphasizes. It needs to blend the technology with a genuine human understanding of your customers' needs and concerns. It's tech plus touch.
Tech plus touch. I like that.
Now let's talk about making the absolute most of what you already have, your people, your equipment, your existing finances.
Right. Resource allocation.
Exactly. Under financial constraints, intelligent resource allocation isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. Every dollar, every hour matters more than ever.
This is where the report highlights AI-powered schedulers and resource planners.
These aren't just fancy calendar tools, right?
Yeah. No. They are sophisticated systems. They use complex algorithms to process vast amounts of data. Things like staff availability, skill sets, equipment status, task dependencies, current demand.
Okay.
And they create optimized allocation plans based on all that. Something that's simply impossible for humans to do manually, at least not efficiently or at scale.
So what are their key abilities according to the source? What can they actually do?
Well, automated distribution of resources based on real-time availability and demand. So the system figures out the best place for everything.
Dynamically.
Yes, and that leads to the next point. Real-time schedule optimization. It can adjust plans on the fly as conditions change unexpectedly. Someone calls in sick, a machine breaks down, a rush order comes in.
Okay, adapting quickly.
Adapting quickly. Predictive analysis to forecast future resource needs. So maybe it predicts you'll need more staff on a certain shift next month, or that a piece of equipment is due for maintenance based on usage patterns.
Planning ahead again.
Planning ahead. And seamless integration with your existing systems and workflows, so it's not just another siloed tool, it works with what you have.
That sounds like it could drastically impact operational efficiency day to day. What are the practical benefits for your business that the report lists?
The operational benefits are pretty significant. Enhanced operational efficiency across the board, simply because resources are always being used more optimally.
Makes sense.
Reduced human error, that's just inherent in complex manual scheduling. Fewer mistakes.
Always good.
Improved overall productivity because the right people and the right equipment are assigned to the right tasks at the right time more consistently.
Getting more done with the same resources.
Essentially, yes. Increased adaptability to changing conditions, which, as we've said, is crucial in an uncertain economy. You can pivot faster.
And better long-term strategic planning.
Yeah, because you're getting these detailed, data-driven insights into how your resources are actually being utilized over time.
Yeah.
Where are the bottlenecks? Where is their spare capacity? It informs bigger decisions.
So looking back at our deep dive today, quite a journey.
It really has been.
We've explored how AI and automation aren't just these abstract, futuristic concepts anymore. They're practical tools impacting your business across really crucial areas.
Yeah, strategically cutting costs and boosting efficiency in operations.
Predicting future trends and managing risk more proactively.
Keeping your valuable customers loyal, especially when times are tough.
Optimizing how you use every limited resource you have. Your people, your equipment.
And understanding the realistic costs and, importantly, the significant potential benefits involved in adopting these technologies.
The core message from this report seems really clear.
I think so. AI is emerging not just as, a reactive tool for trimming expenses when things get tight.
Which is how some might still see it.
Right. But as a powerful ally for genuine strategic transformation. It helps businesses like yours build fundamental resilience.
And position themselves not just to survive, but to emerge stronger from economic uncertainty.
Exactly. Stronger and more competitive.
So this knowledge, hopefully, gives you listening a roadmap. It shows how leveraging AI can be both a strong defense against financial pressure, shoring up that efficiency, cutting costs intelligently.
And an offensive tool. Something that positions you for growth, innovation, and better customer relationships, even when the broader economy feels volatile and unpredictable.
Which leaves us with something for you to consider, perhaps. A final thought to mull over after this deep dive.
Given AI's clearly increasing capabilities and all the insights we've discussed today from the report about its impact on efficiency, foresight, customer loyalty, resource use,
Is considering AI adoption less about gaining some kind of temporary competitive advantage?
and more about it rapidly becoming an essential requirement, a prerequisite for future competitiveness and just basic sustainability in this new, constantly shifting, volatile economic landscape?